For those who enjoy a little Saturday lie-in, the customary off-road early morning start was mercifully put back an hour or two. There was a good turnout from Vetna residents and farmers from the surrounding areas when Bix Caledon and Kenny Skolthammer led off the field with a tough 450 kilometers ahead of the cruise. Richard Schilling and Ashley Thorne were followed by the radical Linton Draper Mike Pretorius Isuzu, which was a centre of attraction all weekend. In hot pursuit were Springbok Rally stars Cassie Kutsia and Richard Leek, who were also looking for a return to top form. Race cam action is from the Kutsia Leek Toyota at high speed through the streets of Vetna. Out in the country, Bix Caledon and Kenny Skolthammer were acting as pathfinders for those behind them. At the same time, the pair were trying to set a pace that would make them hard to catch. Richard Schilling and Ashley Thorne were doing the chasing. The pair were in devastating form late in the season and were looking for their third championship win in a row in the Caledon. Far behind them were Linton Draper and Mike Pretorius, who've had a torrid time this year in developing the impressive Isuzu, with plenty of V8 power at their disposal to perform to its maximum potential. The ever-consistent Alfred van Vieren and Pierre Pelser were again up among the front-runners in the dealer team Toyota. Some good duels were developing early in the race, and not far behind them were Class 5 rivals Wiley Harrington and Johan Gerber in the privately entered Toyota, which was running minus bonnets. Richard Caledon, elder brother of Bix and affectionately known as Obut, was also running steadily in the single-seater lubrication equipment race co. With no navigator, the single-seater drivers are at slight disadvantage and rely heavily on consistent route marking. Bloemfontein driver Theo Kutsia and Ian Wedderburn were showing early good form in the imported Chev and were chasing Class 4 rivals Cassie Kutsia and Richard Leek. More racecam action from the Kutsia Leek Toyota illustrates that off-road racing is no Sunday drive through the park. The Leek combination was looking good, with Selwyn Robinson and Darby van der Walt turning out to be the surprise package in Class 7. They held a healthy lead over Production Vehicles Championship contenders Craig Hopkinson and Martin Spencer. Brothers Wade and Grant Perrins were also going along comfortably enough at the head of the Class 10 field. Class 2 leaders and Production Vehicle Championship leaders Wilfred Veslau and Dagmar Blankner were not in the mood to take chances. After years of faithful service, the Astoria Bakery VW, dubbed the Bread Van, will be retired at the end of the season. Suitably attired for a drive through the countryside in a Jeep, Cliff Barker and Mike Redden were in control of Class 6 in the SVM. Back at the start, the Bike Brigade were busy making final preparations for their 450-kilometer bash through the Bundu.
I can stay in front, I'll stay in front, but I'd rather safe race. It's going to be a long way, it's going to be tough.
Well, I'm first going to see how the marking is, and if it's okay, if I can make my break, I'm going to make my break, but otherwise I'll just stick with the boys and see when I can make my move.
Off-road bike races are a different breed. They're a very fit and very tough band of young men who consistently put their bodies through a form of motorized torture. For Section 1 winner Jeremy Davies, conditions on the Caledon were a far cry from his previous outing, a romp through the ice and snow of Finland. Davies was soon into his stride, but as with leaders in the car category, being first man away has its disadvantages. Setting the pace and blazing a trail as first man out on the road is not always an easy job. Alfie Cox was content to sit behind Davies, waiting for any errors on the part of the leader, with third man Willie Ireland also playing a waiting game. Daniel Dalton, the priority was to stay ahead of Hilton Hayward in the 500 class. For his part, Hayward had to try and put pressure on Dalton and force a mistake. In the 200 class, it was a case of all or nothing for Yuri Himon, who had an outside chance of snatching the title from Brian Bontequinen. This rather large fellow showed what he thought of TV cameras and off-road racing, with leaders Bix Caledon and Kenny Scholthammer the first of a string of cars and motorcycles that were to disturb his morning. Richard Schilling and Ashley Thorne were holding station in second place, but not far behind them were Linton Draper and Mike Pretorius in the awesome Draper Plant Hire Isuzu, who were closing on the two crews ahead of them. There was plenty of evidence that Cassie Coetzee has a rally heritage. After falling behind the top runners, Coetzee was going all out to make up for lost ground. The likeable Cassie was displaying the car control that made him one of South Africa's top rally drivers. Coetzee and Leek were being buffeted around in the cab of the Toyota and were hard at work. Behind them, Alfred van Vieren and Piet Pelser had made up ground in the dealer team Toyota and were pushing as hard as they could. Wiley Harrington and Johan Gerber were still giving chase in the privately entered Toyota. The enthusiastic Harrington is a top rally navigator turned off-road driver and has also had single-seater track racing experience. Theo Coetzee and Ian Wedderburn were also having a good run in the Chevy. For Coetzee, off-road racing is a far cry from the gentle art of painting and building model cars. The first real drama of the race came at Hobhouse, which was an optional refuel point for the cars. The Schilling Thorne and Caledon Scholthammer cars arrived at the refuel almost simultaneously, but while Schilling and Thorne made the briefest of stops, the Caledon Scholthammer car was in for running repairs, and the lead changed hands. With Caledon and Scholthammer still becalmed, Linton Draper and Mike Pretorius also pressed on in the Isuzu and moved into second place. Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek took over third, with matters starting to look ominous for Caledon and Scholthammer.
The one fuel pump's packed up. It's a scavenge pump that sucks off the float. So what's happening, the thing's fluffing. So about 10 k's out here, the car was missing. We decided we'd stop and replace it now.
You'll make plenty on this section because it's hell of a top.
With brother Bix headed for eventual retirement, Obert Caledon was pressing on steadily and gradually moving up through the field in the single-seater race co.